everybody, welcome back to Cards by the Hill. My name is Jane Hill. So I've spoken to you before about a Christmas village tree and preparations for the cutting of the wood is already underway, so that's good. What I want to do is make a platform to go on top of the shelf to raise up some of the buildings. Okay, now I know a lot of people use polystyrene because they tend to use it for a village if it's across a worktop or a sideboard or something like that, but this is going to be on a shelf tree, so I was thinking piece of plywood, circular, paint it white around the edges, which I've got some Arteza white on the shelf here, and I've got a haul coming up of some Limax figures and buildings, so that's going to be a nice one to show you. Okay, so I'm going to use Arteza Snow White just to go around the edging, okay, because on the top I'm going to cover it with felt, white felt, and then around the edge underneath I'm going to build a small brick wall. Okay, just going around the edging like that with some stones. You've seen me use these stones lots of times. They're only shingle from garden centres, those sort of places. You could buy them online if you want to. And I'm just going to build a little wall around the edging, so it gives it a little height compared to some of the other buildings. Okay, so let's just paint the edge. Obviously it doesn't matter if it goes over, because you're not going to see the top and you're not going to see the bottom. You can obviously paint the whole thing in white if you prefer, if you don't want to use felt to cover it, but I am going to use felt so it blends in with the rest. I might have to take you to a different room to work on the wood shelves, because obviously the base one is quite big. So just a rough coat first, and it will probably need a few, so I'll do that off screen. Don't want to bore you senseless. Okay, so there's one. I'm just going to put that in the vise to dry. Get rid of this paint off my hand. So I'll paint a second one around the edging. So I'm going to do two. And then add extra coats off screen. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so with the felt that I purchased from Amazon, self-adhesive, A4 sheets, that's a bit crinkled on that edge there, look at that. And on top, not very good at all. Gonna have to make a complaint about that. I'm gonna draw around Okay, then cut that piece out, and that's the piece that's going to go on top to create the surface for the buildings to sit on. Okay. Like that. So that can go straight on top. And then the brick wall can go around underneath. So let's get that on. As I said, self-adhesive. It's extremely hot in here today, and I've got the fan on. There we go. So now we've got a white surface with a felt edging for buildings to sit on. I'm just going to trim any excess off. There we go, and now we can build the wall. Now, hot glue obviously, because we're working with stones. And I'm going to use all the white ones. Could touch up a little bit of this paint, actually. Yeah, let me just touch up a bit of the paint, because I'm not liking how I can still see some of the wood, if you can see. And that was 4 times, unbelievable. Now I'll touch it up now, because then otherwise I won't be able to do it with the wall there. So let me just do that, and I'll come back when it's dry, and then we'll start the wall. Okay, so this is the wall so far that I've been working on off screen. As you can see, the stones have a lot of glitter and glisten in them. I've tried to fill in the gaps with hot glue, and then I'll probably give it a coat of something glittery afterwards. I'm not entirely happy with it, not sure if I'm going to proceed or not. I'll think about it. That's probably the height I was looking for. But I won't lie, they're really hard to match up together, which is why this is how far I've got. So if you are going to do it this way, just beware, you're going to need a lot of time and a lot of patience. Okay, so I did actually finish the wall. There it is. I've had to bring you down here to show you. So I did do it about 2 inches high, if you can see. So that's the platform, but I want to add some greenery and foliage around it, and see what else I might do. So just let me get some bits together and I'll come back. Okay, so what I want to do is go around the outside now with some Arteza Magic Glitter Glow. Okay, so this will be picked up with the lights and everything else that's going on the village, because the stones are actually glittered, but I think they could do with some more. And I also need to cover up bits of glue that you can see here and now, but that's not going to be an issue anyway, because once this is done and it's dried, I'm gonna attach it to either some card or another platform, and then I'm going to put some foliage around it and some moss and bits and pieces like that. So, you know, anywhere that you think you could see too much glue, you just add some foliage. And I've got some that I can pull out of the stash, and then I've got some that I'm going to make. So this will just give it extra sparkle when it's under the lights. You can see the glitter hopefully on camera. So I want to secure it to another platform or something to make sure that nothing moves. Obviously you can paint them as well if you want to, but because these ones were white, I thought they just needed a little bit of glitter and that would do the job. Okay, so now that's got to dry. I'm thinking maybe secure another platform on the bottom so it doesn't move anywhere, and it will be hot glued down, and then the foliage can go all around the edging, and then it can be picked up from here instead of the stones so they don't get disturbed. So once that's dry, I'll glue that on and then we'll start the foliage. I might have to recover the top because I think it's got a little bit dirty when I've been working on it. So yeah, I might have to recover it, but that's fine. So I'm just going to let that dry now. You can see the glitter everywhere, which is good. So we'll let that do, and then I'll come back and we'll do the foliage. Okay, so let's move on to the foliage now. I've got here what I think would make a good bush, or if you cut it right down, it could be grass. All I've done is take a piece of green cord, cut it at the bottom, hot glue the end, so that stays together, and then with the top start unraveling the twine itself. And of course you can do this with all different coloured twines if you've got it, all different coloured braids, and then just start unraveling each one. Just going to put the fan on. Just start unraveling each one. Just tease it apart. Just like that. And then you've got all those strands of grass and plant now. Do the same with each one. There we go. And the same again, just kind of puff them out. There we go. You know, fiddle with them and pull them apart as you do. And you've got yourself a little bush or a tree, or cut it down, you've got some grass. And you can put that at the side of the wall for the foliage. So I'm going to make a few of those. I've also got some reindeer moss. Haven't got much left in green. Got a lot of pink, so I could use some of that as a bush or something. So that'll be going on. Very messy. I've got some other flowers here that I'm going to use as well. I'm thinking maybe these little yellow ones in a bunch. Quite like these. Just snip them, glue them at the bottom, spread them out. Another little bush. Yeah, so I might use those. Okay, and I've got these mulberry flowers in red, which are obviously on wire. So I want to kind of make that into a rose bush and plant that somewhere on there. Maybe make two of them because there's a few there. So, you know, mulberry flowers, felt flowers. Okay, I've got some green flop. So this is Fun Flock by looks like Stampendous. Yes, Stampendous. So I've got Olive View and Envious Green. So with those, so I've got a reel of string here. This is from Everbuilt. 525 feet. I'm not sure I'm going to use that much, but regardless, we want some string. So with the string, again, unravel it. So you've got some little branches there. And of course that could be a little tree on its own. But what I want to do is dip some of that in the flocking. So let's have a look. Let's try this one first. The Envious Green. Right, so I've got a big bottle here. So I'm going to pour some in the coffee filter. Then drag the little tree through it. Let's just snip off the ones that don't look right. I only want to do the tips really. And then in another coffee filter, I'll put the flock. Let's just turn the fan off. So rather than pour it on, I'm actually going to dip it in. Like that. There we go. and a few of those together to make a little bunch. Could go on as a plant. Okay, so that's that. Let that dry. So I'll make a few of those off camera, and then we'll be ready once it's dry to stick them all on. Okay, so I've added some Arteza Magic Glitter Glow to the snow, so I'm hoping that will catch the lights when it's on the platform. And I did find some green moss, and I've gone around with the green moss, and I've added the glitter glow to the plants as well. Okay, and that's just going to dry. Okay, so here it is finished. It's got its felt on top. The snow around the edges was covered with Arteza Tempera Colours Magic Glitter Glow. Okay, I don't know if you can see it on camera. Around the edges was the green moss and the little yellow flowers, which I also covered in the glitter. And it's ready for something to stand on it. So as I do in all my videos, I want to thank you for your likes. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It means so much to me and the channel. Thank you for taking the time out to watch the videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.